I'm just saying good morning, just good morning. Everybody, good morning. Good morning, morning, morning. All right. Who we missing? Skaggs coming.
Last minute Skaggs.
Who's next to you?
Bonk's here.
Who's Bonk?
Yeah, he's down there.
Sure.
It's on.
Send an invitation, I was gonna leave.
Somebody here? Where did Ted go? Do we know where Ted is?
I don't.
He went in the
Ted's
back.
right there, he's gonna do the
Oh yeah,
invitation.
okay. I didn't see him. We're gonna get started. Welcome to the December 19th County Board of Commissioners meeting. We will call the meeting to order, and Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Good morning, Commissioners Antor. Here. Breivy.
Here.
Bulkowski. Hennessy. Here. Jones.
Here.
Coleman. Here. Melton. Here. Morgan. Ponstein.
Here.
Uh,
You got two points there. Yeah, don't get us confused.
let me fix my numbers.
After 64 Monday, I can't hear anymore.
Commissioners Stallfeld.
Here.
Skaggs.
Here.
Sparks. Vice Chair Steck.
Here.
Commissioners Talon.
Here.
Vonk.
Here.
Voorhees.
Present.
Womack.
Here.
Wooden.
Here.
Chair Bolter.
Here.
Madam Chair, you have 19 members present, 0 absent. You have a quorum.
Wonderful, thank you. Now I'll call on Commissioner Bonk for the invocation.
Welcome you to this last meeting of the year, hopefully, and look forward to this Christmas season. We all have things to do. I heard one commissioner is hoping the emails get through so he can get the presents for his family. Otherwise, he said he was going to send them photographs. So I thought about that last night, sending photographs. But many years ago, the king of Persia, now Iran, put on peasants' clothing and went amongst the people and see what their needs were and what favors they needed. And he stopped and talked to one man and he said, "What do you need?" He said, "I've seen some you've given favors to, and some you've given presents to. I welcome your presence." Isn't that a nice way to start the Christmas season, to welcome the presence of Christ? Shall we pray? Our Father in God, we do welcome your presence this day and every day, for all the goodness you show to each one of us every day of our lives. Sometimes in a smile, sometimes in a gift, sometimes in lunch with a friend. We thank you for all of that. We thank you for your presence here with this board this past year and all we have accomplished, not for ourselves, but for the others. For all our residents of this county, we do it for them, and we thank you that we can follow your example. We'll be gathering around the table with friends, family in the very near future. Some of those seats may be empty. A loved one has passed on and won't be there anymore, dad or mom or brother. And it hurts. We've all been there. We've always nod and know they've gone on to their reward, and we thank you for that. And others may be a warrior that gave his all. He will never see that baby in his arms or that boy play t-ball or run for that touchdown, or that daughter, he'll never see her playing the band or walk her down the aisle someday. No, it all ended on some battlefield, some jungles, some cliff, some bomber, some ship. Thank you for those too, because that's why we're here, because we have freedom, and we thank you for that freedom. But no better the freedom that we have in Jesus Christ. And we thank you for your birth. We thank you for what you did and what you did on the cross for us. And so may we celebrate this Christmas. May we be gracious to all that come in our door. May we be giving and forgiving. And may we show the joy of Christ everywhere we go.
Thank you, Commissioner Vonk. That was a great prayer, and so glad that you're willing to give that today. On to item 5, public comment related to agenda items. Do we have anyone here that would like to speak to an agenda item today? All right, seeing none, we're on to consent agenda. I will call on Commissioner Vonk again.
Thank you, Chair. I'll move the consent agenda, items A and B.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Vonk, support by Commissioner Jones. Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this is a roll call. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt the consent agenda, Commissioners Antor.
Yes.
Breivy.
Yes.
Bulkowski.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Kallman.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Onstein.
Yes.
Saalfeld.
Yes.
Skaggs.
Yes.
Sparks.
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck.
Yes.
Commissioners Talon.
Yes.
Vonk.
Yes.
Voorhees.
Yes.
Womack.
Yes.
Wooden.
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. The consent agenda is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to item 8 on the agenda, and I will call on Commissioner Breivy.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I move Resolution 114 of today's date, the Juvenile Mental Health Court Planning Grant from Circuit Court.
Any, moved by Commissioner Breivy.
Support.
Support by Commissioner Wooden. Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this is not a roll call. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. On to item 8B, and I will call on Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move Resolution 115, the additional 911 surcharge appropriation from fiscal services.
Moved by Commissioner Morgan, support by Commissioner Breivy. Questions, comments? Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to make sure that it's clear, we had quite a bit of discussion with this in the Finance Committee. One piece to understand is that Sprint didn't collect the additional surcharge they were supposed to, yet when identified, they stepped up. They were willing to go ahead and make sure this was taken care of correctly, and it was very smooth, and for that, we appreciate it. So I just wanted to make a note, it wasn't like that was collected and we had to go back after it because they didn't submit it. It just wasn't collected, but they still recognized it. So this is a significant addition, and I'm really grateful it went so smoothly.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Steck.
Thank you, Chair. I concur in that and acknowledge Sprint for stepping to the plate and doing the right thing for this. I'm wondering whether we have any other conversations still going on with other providers?
Yes, there are 10 providers that we are actually really taking a further deep dive. There's several others that are out there, but we have 10 that we're really taking a close look at this point, and we'll be doing more follow-up and scrutiny.
Commissioner Ponstein.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. So Wayman, my question isn't so much about the process and how we collected this. Now that we've collected it, the working budget for the dispatch, is this money that we looked at the budgeted, we didn't get everything we asked, or did we build that budget on the numbers of what we were getting? Where is this money going to go? Will it accelerate things that we want to do, or is it just catching up from where we should have been?
I believe it does. I think the budget that they currently operate within handles all of the activities that they planned. However, they would probably have more that they would want to accomplish, and so I would imagine this will help in solving some of those other needs.
Commissioner Morgan. Yep.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Some of this has been baked into the budget, so it'll go to operations and some of the infrastructure that we're trying to do.
Any other, Commissioner Antor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know we talked about the main 10 providers that we're focusing in on. I think there's dozens of other ones. And I think the other ones are all reselling the 10, probably. So I think it's, we stay focused on the 10. That's going
Yes.
to lead us to the other ones just by, degree. So, thank you.
Any other questions or Commissioner Morgan?
Thanks. Once again, this is about 3 times more than we were anticipating. So I really appreciate the due diligence of the staff and mining this and sticking with it, because it was a fairly lengthy process to get us where we are today, but we were anticipating about a third of this, so nice job.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this is a roll call. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 12-19-19-115, Commissioners Antor. Yes. Brevy.
Yes.
Volkowski. Yes. Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Colman. Yes. Melton.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Ponstein.
Yes.
Salfeld.
Yes.
Skaggs.
Yes.
Sparks.
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck.
Yes.
Commissioners Talon.
Yes.
Vonk. Voorhees.
Yes.
Womack.
Yes.
Wooden.
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 18 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 12-19-19-115 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to 8C, and I will call on Commissioner Brevy.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I would like to move Resolution 116 of today's date, the Lodging and Excise Tax Budget Amendment from Fiscal Services.
Moved by Commissioner Brevy.
Support.
Support by Commissioner Jones. Questions or comments? Commissioner Voorhees.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. My question is in the first whereas. It says the county levies a excise tax on the motel facilities. I thought it was a tax on the room charges. Am I correct or incorrect?
You are correct. It's one and the same.
It is one and the same, the facilities.
Yes, we consider the rooms within the hotels part of the facilities. Yes. Semantics, Commissioner Voorhees.
I will accept it.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this is a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 12-19-19-116, Commissioners Antor. Yes. Brevy.
Yes.
Volkowski.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Colman.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Ponstein.
Yes.
Salfeld.
Yes.
Skaggs.
Yes.
Sparks.
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck.
Yes.
Commissioners Talon.
Yes.
Vonk. Voorhees.
Yes.
Womack.
Yes.
Chair, Wooden.
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 18 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 12-19-19-116 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to item 8D, and I will call on Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move Resolution 117. It's from the Fiscal Services Department. It's the Strategic Capital CIP Project Amendment.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Morgan, support by Commissioner Jones. Questions or comments? Commissioner Bolkowski.
Yeah, I have a question. Just, it says up to 7 million, and we, just wondering if we're any closer to what the actual number is? And of course, since this is your last meeting, you might as well walk up and answer this tough question. Not to point that out before others do, but.
Question was, when will we know what the actual number is, or when we,
Yeah,
actually, we have to get to, probably about 60 days after the end of the year. Why it says up to 7 million, I want to make sure that we don't put ourselves in the deficit position. So we need to see the bills come in, things that we haven't seen, make the transfers to the funds that we support. So it'll probably be end of February before I know the exact number, but I'm going to tell you, I'm 99.99% confident that it will be the $7 million.
so you're saying you're leaving this undone before you retire? All right, thank you.
No,
Any other questions?
we'll be all right.
Commissioner
pretty
Talon.
sure.
Thank you, Chair. Wondering why we don't just leave this in unrestricted, sorry, I don't know the new term, but I still use unrestricted, undesignated fund balance. Why don't we just leave it there and take it from there when we need it? What's the reason for moving this over to strategic capital?
All other things being equal, if we put it in the fund balance and later want to take it out And if we're on the edge in terms of revenue and expenses being equal, then we would have to go to a deficit position in the general fund. Why not take it in a year where you don't have to go to a deficit position to transfer? It is always within the power of the board to have it transferred back in. So I want to make sure that we don't put ourselves in a position where we're potentially looking at a deficit in the general fund.
So if I could follow up on that, what I heard you just say is it really doesn't matter to a certain extent that we're putting it in here because we can move it back out anytime we want, also with a simple majority vote. Is that correct?
That is true, but we will be coming here January 7th saying we have 3 projects and we want to move that money out. Once you commit that, then it would be very difficult to transfer back because we will start signing contracts and start construction. But to the point you make that decision, it is something you could put back.
So one more follow-up. What I think I heard you just say is we're not going to get ourselves into a deficit position because we'll be allocating it. So we could just designate it out of unrestricted fund balance on January 7, couldn't we?
No, well, run that question back to me one more time. I'm sorry, I missed that.
I guess I'm trying to understand why the emphasis on moving it into this strategic fund rather than just leaving it as undesignated unrestricted fund balance if we're going to already basically spend it on January 7, because you had indicated that financial situation might change.
Because we're moving the money into a life-to-date fund that doesn't have an artificial year-end of December 31. So I want to make sure that I move the money out as of December 31, and I can do that during the first 60 days or so after the year end. So it's just the best way to do it.
Okay.
Commissioner Coleman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's an old-fashioned idea that not many people or governments do anymore, which is called saving money. This is, I think, a great example of Kent County doing that very thing. We've got some big expenditures on capital projects, and kudos to all of us for taking the time, the forethought to save money and plan for these expenditures.
Commissioner Morgan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Another reason for this, Mr. Duarte, is you can appropriate the money over a number of years if you have to. It doesn't have a live date to it, or it's not tied to a specific budget year, correct?
That's correct. When we move it to the CIP fund,
So if we have a project.
It's project-oriented, yes.
So we have a project that may take 2 years to complete. That's a good vehicle to put this money so we can just allocate that and it's done, right?
That's correct.
So I think my understanding is pretty clear on that.
Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this is a roll call. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 12-19-19-117, Commissioners Antor.
Yes.
Breeby.
Yes.
Bilkowski.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Ponstein.
Yes.
Salfeld.
Yes.
Skaggs.
Yes.
Sparks. Yes. Vice Chair Steck.
Yes.
Talon.
No.
Bonk. Voorhees.
Yes.
Womack.
Yes.
Wooden.
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 17 yeas, 1 nay. The motion passes. Resolution 12-19-19-117 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to 8E, and I will call on Commissioner Breeby.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I move Resolution 118 of today's date, Spectrum Health System, Health Resources and Services Administration Strong Beginnings Program from the Health Department.
Moved by Commissioner Breeby.
Support.
Support by Commissioner Wooden. Questions or comments? All right, I just have one I need to abstain due to my Spectrum Health being my employer. This is not a roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, all abstain, aye. All right, motion passes. On to item 8F. Again, Spectrum Health, I will call on Commissioner Sparks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move Resolution 119 of today's date, the Health Department Spectrum Health System Pay for Success Strong Beginnings Program.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Sparks, support by Commissioner Breeby. Questions or comments? Commissioner Talon.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to note the amazing work that continues to happen in this community in addressing low birth weight and adverse outcomes for births in this county. And when I started on this board many, many years ago, we were one of the worst in the state. We are making great progress, and this is one of those programs that contributes to it. So great to see the continued support for that work and the progress that's being made. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this is a roll call. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 12-19-19-119er, Commissioner Antor.
Yes.
Breivy.
Yes.
Bulkowski. Yes, sir. Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes, ma'am.
Ponstein.
Yes.
Saalfeld.
Roger.
Skaggs. I'm losing track. You finally got me, guys. Commissioner Skaggs.
Yes.
Sparks.
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck.
Yes.
Talon.
Yes.
Vonk. Voorhees.
Yes.
Womack.
Yes.
Wooden.
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Abstain.
Madam Chair, you have 17 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention. The motion passes. Resolution 12-19-19-119 is adopted.
Awesome. Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to item 8G, and I will call on Commissioner Hennessy.
Thank you. I move the Resolution 120 for pay grade amendments for various UAW positions based on a wage study.
Moved by Commissioner Hennessy, support by Commissioner Morgan. Questions or comments? This is not a roll call. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. On to item 8H, and I will call on Commissioner Sparks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move Resolution 121 of today's date from the Kent County Community Action Home Tenant-Based Rental Assistant Contract with the Community Rebuilders.
Moved by Commissioner Sparks, support by Commissioner Breivy. Questions or comments on this? Commissioner Wooden?
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to thank staff for tracking down some of the questions that I had prior to committee. Just briefly, this kind of an investment is certainly worthwhile. The points I raised in committee and the questions I asked were that this kind of service has an ideal client because it is temporary, and just wanting to make sure that as we're executing this contract and as we're reviewing it, that we work alongside the other partners that are funding similar initiatives through the Home Investment Partnership, simply to ensure that the candidates who will do the best and have the best result of going through this investment will be prioritized. So thank you very much, and I intend to vote for this.
Any other questions or comments on 8H? Commissioner Talon?
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Chair. Just to follow up on that, and express again some appreciation for this work, recognizing that these dollars go toward families that have a certain level of need, and this type of work is historically very successful with those particular families. So I really appreciate the county taking the initiative to participate in our community's work in the broadest sense to end homelessness as quickly as we can. So appreciate this proposal. Thanks.
Commissioner Womack?
Yes, I just want to really say that having the chance to sit with the Kent Community Action Team, that I'm just proud that they have such a connection with the residents in this county and different ways of getting feedback for the needs. And it's just so many great things have already been said. I just wanted to add that having a chance to talk with them and be there and watch some of the work they do is just head on point. And for the county to be involved and everyone else who's a part of this is it couldn't be a better need out there to help fulfill, because affordable homes is like a top issue in the county now.
Great. Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this is not a roll call. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. We are on to 8I, and I will call on Commissioner Womack.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move 12-19-19-122 home tenant-based rental assistant contract with Salvation Army and Kent County Community Action.
Moved by Commissioner Womack, support by Commissioner Bulkowski. Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this is not a roll call. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. We are on to the last one, 8J, and I will call on Commissioner Sparks.
I'm busy this morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move Resolution 123 for the Kent County Community Action, MDOT, Enhanced Mobility of Seniors and Individuals with Disabilities Program.
Moved by Commissioner Sparks.
Support.
Support by Commissioner Womack. Questions or comments? All right, seeing none, this is a roll call. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On the motion to adopt Resolution 12-1919-123, Commissioners Antor.
Yes.
Breeby.
Yes.
Bulkowski.
Yes.
Hennessy.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Coleman.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Morgan.
Yes.
Ponstein.
Yes.
Salfeld.
Yes.
Skaggs.
Yes.
Sparks.
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck.
Yes.
Commissioners Talon.
Yes.
Vonk. Voorhees.
Yes.
Womack.
Yes.
Wooden.
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 18 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 12-1919-123 is adopted.
Awesome, thank you so much. We are on to the 9th agenda item for today, and it is public comment related to any county matter. Come on up. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please give us your name and address.
Susan Cervantes, and my Kent County address is 121 Franklin. And I would just like to say thank you very much for selecting Community Action as the charitable recipient for your Christmas party. Our donations were just about $1,000, and it was a great way to kick off our Walk for Warmth season. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment today? All right, seeing none, we are on to item 10, Commissioner reports. Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just like to report that we're up about 9% at the airport. We've already passed last year's passenger count, so we're hoping for a strong holiday transportation season. We did have a ribbon cutting for our apron, our concrete apron, and I appreciate Commissioner Ponstein and Commissioner Skaggs joining us out there in the wind chill to cut the ribbon. It's hard to, make that report kind of sexy, but it is a critical part of our infrastructure, and it was a huge pour. So it'll help us when we get into the Concourse A expansion. So that's my report. It's my last report of the year. I'll see if I have more stuff next year for you guys.
Great. Commissioner Breeby.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I just wanted to give a report on the Grand Rapids Public Museum. We had our last board meeting of the year last week, and attendance has been, it's gone very well for 2019, and one of the big exhibits that's going on right now is Bodies Revealed, and they had over 20,000 visitors in the first month that it was available. So they're expecting over the holiday break a lot more visitors, and I would love it if you guys would all attend and see what they've got going on during the holidays. They have lots of special events and different things to participate in. Right now, they still have the toys exhibit and Bodies Revealed, and there's a few more local things as well. A couple things too, the museum is looking at expanding, kind of changing their facility around, making it more accessible to people, improving the flow. And they're also part of the River for All accessibility plan that's going on. So that will all be integrated, and over the next few months, they'll be working on an updated design, and they've already surveyed a lot of community members, gotten a feeling of what the museum means to them, what it is to our community, and have done kind of a deep dive with that. So, and then following the design, there'll be a campaign for some financing that comes about. So look for lots of good changes coming in the next year or so at the museum. And yeah, if you want to visit it this month, let me know. I'll be happy to ride along with you.
All right. Commissioner Talon.
Thank you, Chair. The Grand Rapids DDA met last Wednesday. I'd like to note 3 things from that meeting. The first is that we said goodbye to Brian Harris as chair. Brian led the DDA through the transition to DGRI a number of years ago. He has decided to step down from that chair role, and our new chair is Rick Wynn, who many of you may know as the head of the Amway Hotel portfolio. So we welcome Rick. Second is, we approved several business assistance grants for new businesses. We have a special program for minority-owned businesses, and we approved 3 of them, 2 going in on Monroe Center and 1 on Division in the Hartside neighborhood. My favorite is the GR Noir restaurant, bar that will be going in where the hole used to be in the ground for a number of years next to Rockwell Republic on Division. There's a new building there now, and they will be taking over the entire first floor retail space for a wine and jazz bar. Really looking forward to that. And finally, I have a hard time relating to this because at my age, I try to get out of Michigan in the winter, but DGRI is putting on a month-long series of events called the World of Winter that will start in mid-January and go through mid-February. A lot of cool stuff for people that love winter, and you should be seeing some publicity about that coming out very soon.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to make note that Grand Valley Metro Council meets today, and part of the meeting is going to be featuring the dedication of the James R. Buck Conference Room. So I thought that was worth noting, and I think that is a lovely way to honor Mayor Buck.
Great. Commissioner Skaggs.
Thank you, Chair. Just want to report that the Ready by 5 Grant Allocation Committee, or something like that, met 3 times last week for about 8 hours of time. Took a look at over 27 applications, narrowed those down, and made a recommendation to spend about $7.9 million on home visits, on play and learn, play and learn events for people that aren't really in the daycare system, and dealing with health and lead, trying to improve outcomes for kids. That'll go to the First Steps Board and then Finance and then through to this board. But a lot of good hard work done over those 24 hours, and just want to thank everyone, of course, my fellow Commissioner Monica Sparks, and all of the parents, staff, and experts that helped us out to, I think, make some pretty good decisions there.
Great. Thank you. Commissioner Steck.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. Just briefly, the Kent County Community Action Governing Board did meet this past week, and one of the things we did was to approve a community needs assessment, which is a very valuable report, and if you haven't seen it, Suzanne, thank you for your work in all of that and marshaling that through, but it provides a lot of great information if you want to understand some of the dynamics and some of the things that are going on within our Kent County community. It would be a great read, so I encourage you to look at, find it, and read it. So.
Great. Any other official reports today? All right, we're on to miscellaneous. Any miscellaneous today? Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, Chair. As mentioned with the strategic capital, I encourage all of the commissioners to follow January 7th, either attend or at least watch that committee meeting, because we will be discussing the fleet services, the North Kent, and the parks headquarters. So that's something that I think is really critical, that each board member, whether you're on finance or not, does follow. And I know occasionally I do note these things, and I thought this was a good time to make a note of that for folks to be aware of, that it's coming, to watch it. Plus, we've had numerous work sessions on these topics. We had executive committee. Any additional questions you might have on these topics, please get them to Wayman.
Great. All right, Commissioner Ponstein.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. Just want to wish everyone a very merry holiday season this year, and I know in my life I have been blessed beyond belief of things that have been afforded to me, either through sometimes dumb luck, sometimes hard work. But there are people out there in this county that are struggling with a lot of things, either family or death, addiction, physical or mental illness, homelessness, employment. whatever the circumstances are, whether you're going to be celebrating the joys of the season or you're struggling with things, I just hope that the blessings of the seasons reach everyone and each one of you in this county.
Thank you. Commissioner Womack.
Yes, I just want to thank all the commissioners for just their support this year and for all of us getting along. What a great year it's been. Definitely, I want to thank the staff for all the hard work they've done and all the department heads. And I just hope we can have another great year like this. Want to thank DDA for the things they're doing with Allianz GR and the other minority businesses in our area. And I want to thank Madam Chair. You have done an excellent job this year.
Thank you. Commissioner Breve.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I just wanted to echo some of those sentiments that have already been said, but we've had a great year. We have accomplished a lot together, even though we have some differences. We've been able to come to agreement on a lot of things. I look forward to 2020 and all that it holds, and I think we'll also have another great year of working together and doing the best we can for Kent County. I wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Enjoy spending time with the ones that you love.
Thank you. Commissioner Hennessy.
Thank you. We're going to have a joyous holiday open house sponsored by New Development, which works on the northwest side, thus new, and we renovate homes. This is a home that has been renovated. It is now up for sale at 2031 Eastern Northeast, and the open house will be from 4 to 6 today. This home is available based on income, and it's priced below the appraised value, and it just shows what can happen and what can be achieved when you look at the pictures on the flyers I've distributed with renovating homes and bringing up neighborhoods. One house can make a difference to a whole block, and that is what this house on Eastern has done, which I believe is in Commissioner Wooden's district. And so that is today, 2031 Eastern Northeast.
Great. Thank you. Commissioner Melton.
Thank you, Chair. Couple things. Someone who comes to our meetings and is really rather quiet, but I have had the privilege now of being part of the board, is Susan Cervantes. And I'm telling you, you go in and I know that Stan just mentioned it a little bit. I'm overwhelmed at the amount of things and actions and ways that she and her staff work to meet the needs of those persons in our community that, and I don't want to say are forgotten, because obviously they're not forgotten, because we remember them. But if you have a chance, and I will get that to everyone, I know I said it before, but I didn't have a hard copy in my hands. I'm going to just put in everyone's mailbox, come the first of the year, the needs assessment that is sent out. And I think it will really be an eye-opener. Certainly it was for me. Do you have to make your choice between this or that? And quite frankly, I don't always have to make any of those kinds of choices, so I just think it would be really, really nice. But I just can't say enough wonderful things about Susan and her staff and what they accomplish. It's pretty amazing, like very. And the only other thing is, thank you so much to all who had a hand in our county party. It was wonderful. The entertainment, my gosh, I had to drag my husband out of there. I believe they were well related to somebody in this room and had an awful lot of talent, maybe not on the basketball course, but they had talent in other ways. But we know that things like that don't just happen. And so anyone who had their hand in that, and the staff that served us, and I thanked all of them, we can only have as nice an evening as those who are serving you, and they did an excellent job. So thank you, and happy holidays to everybody.
Wonderful. Commissioner Antor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a reminder this time of year, at the Veterans Home, there's still a lot of, especially World War II veterans down there that sometimes have no family whatsoever. And it can be pretty lonely this time of year. And just the thought of maybe if you get a chance, stop by, you maybe bring a couple small gifts with you. These guys are usually sitting around in their wheelchairs up front, and just being able to talk to them can make their day. And sometimes you might get into a conversation that lasts a lot longer than what you anticipated. But it's just a lonely time for some of those folks not having any family, especially this time of year. So just a reminder of that World War II era especially. We're losing them more and more daily, and we will soon come to a day when our last ones are no longer on this earth. It's just really important to thank them. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other miscellaneous? Commissioner Wooden?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to echo the holiday greeting sentiments given by other commissioners, but also take a moment to reflect on last Tuesday evening's proceedings in City Hall. Our mayor took the oath of office for her second term. Commissioner Moody from the 3rd Ward took his oath for the first full term of his time, as well as our library board, and from the 2nd Ward, Commissioner-elect Asasi took the oath of office. And, reflecting on that evening, 2 things popped out. Regardless of folks' sentiments on the election, we now have our first Latinx city commissioner in Grand Rapids, which is historic, but moreover, we have a majority non-white city commission now serving the city of Grand Rapids, another momentous occasion. And, but on a personal level, I got to see one of my role models and mentors, City Commissioner Ruth Kelly, give her final remarks in her final meeting. I've looked up to her for years. She is one of the folks who has nurtured me along the way since I was even younger than I am now. And I can never thank her enough for that. So I just wanted to thank her again in this setting for her years of service to the city of Grand Rapids, to the residents of all of this county. So thank you very much for your time, and have a great holiday season.
Any other Commissioner Steck?
Thank you, Chair Bolter. So I guess at the risk of breaking into a refrain of Kumbaya, I want to also acknowledge all of my colleagues for your work this year, for being able to stay focused on what we need to do. Heaven knows that there are a lot of opportunities to be politically fractious and to be contentious, but we have not done that, and we've stayed focused on what we need to do. And I look forward to, even though this next year will be even more challenging in that regard, I look forward to your continued commitment to stay focused on what we need to do for our citizens, for our residents, and it'll be a great year. So thank you.
Great. Any other miscellaneous today? All right, I just have a couple things per usual. Want to acknowledge Commissioner Ponstein on that awesome-looking cake back there that he brought for us, so thank you for that. Our administrator evaluation is due, so please get that in as soon as you can. It should have been in your mailbox or email or both. And then, everybody's kind of taken the words out of my mouth. I think it's been an awesome year. I'm so thankful for everyone's commitment to the board, to the work groups, all the work we've been able to do. We will be getting you a memo at the beginning of the year of kind of everything we were able to accomplish this year, so you can get that communicated back to your districts as well and your constituents. And I just thank you for allowing me to serve you as well. So happy holidays and Merry Christmas. With that, I will call on Commissioner Jones for a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn, subject to the call of the chair, to Thursday, January 2nd, 2020 at 8:30 a.m. for an official meeting.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Jones, support by Commissioner Brevy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.